Hey guys, it's Gabe from Steele Hyundai, and this is my walk around of the 2022 Hyundai Elantra N. The Elantra N is Hyundai's sports sedan, entering into the market to take on cars such as the Civic Type R and Volkswagen's Jetta GLI. The Elantra N is a fantastic representation of Hyundai's new design language, sleek and aggressive, very sporting. N is Hyundai's sports division, and the badging for that is found everywhere, including on the door sill, the floor mat, and in an illuminated badge on the front bucket seats. Speaking of those seats, as a bucket seat, they're very comfortable, but very firm. And not firm as in the seat itself, but firm in the way they hold you. It's like a big hug. It's designed to hold you in place during tight cornering, and it does so fantastically. This beautiful leather with the blue French stitching, which is also found in the steering wheel. The seat body itself, the cushion, is Alcantara or suede, and it is fantastically comfortable. The view in front of you is dominated by this chunky steering wheel with the same blue French stitching and leather wrapping as the front seats. It offers a fantastic firm feel and brilliant feedback from the road. Returning to the steering wheel in a moment, directly to the right of it is your infotainment system. And I love that the main feature of it for me is that it's actual buttons. You have a really nice big touchscreen here, 10.25 inches, fantastic quality and Apple CarPlay compatible, as well as Android Auto compatible, but the controls for almost everything are down here. Physical buttons, knob for the radio, map, navigation, etc. Same with the climate control. Actual buttons for the front and rear defroster. Actual buttons for the heated seats, the heated steering wheel. A button for the AC. Fantastic. Dual climate control zones. Moving to just below the climate cluster, you've got two USB ports. One is just a charger, the one on the right, and the one on the left will also receive information. So if you want to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you plug your cord into that, plug your phone into the cord, and Bob's your uncle. To the left of that other USB port is your standard 12-volt cigarette lighter outlet, and then directly below that, this rubberized pad, the left side of it is actually a wireless phone charger. Moving on to the transmission here, this one is equipped with Hyundai's fantastic DCT or dual clutch transmission, which offers absolutely seamless gear changes with the paddles on the back of the steering wheel or as an automatic, but it is available with a 6-speed manual transmission as well for those who really like to have a pure driving experience. Next to the transmission is this button here for the drive mode. More on that in a moment. Now we're going to look back at the steering wheel. To turn the car on, you just press your foot on the brake and hit the engine start button to the right of the steering wheel. The steering wheel has many buttons. The one's on the left for your telephone, voice activation, volume and mute, as well as next track for the stereo system. The ones on the right include your cruise control, your lane keeping assist, which is fantastic. It keeps you in between the lines by gently braking the inside wheel just to pull you back into the middle if you're too close to the side of your lane. And then this button here offers you the different menus on the dash cluster. And then you can use this button here to actually scroll through different ones for each sub-menu as well. Moving further down, you've got these two beautiful blue N badge buttons. This one offers you to set custom driving modes, as well as the 3 preset ones, which I'll get to in a moment. This restores you to whichever setting you were in beforehand. And then this one is for N grin shift. And there'll be more on that later. There are 3 preset driving modes. The one most people would likely use most of the time is Eco, which has this green tinted gauge cluster. Normal has a blue tinted analog looking gauge cluster. But my personal favorite is Sport, which has this red tinted carbon fiber patterned gauge cluster. Another thing about this car, you can tell it's a serious sports car when you look in the trunk and its chassis bracing. The Elantra N offers a great value for money for those wanting a practical daily driver, but something that can also be a lot of fun to drive. It comes with a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, which in eco or normal mode gets fantastic gas mileage, and when paired with that dual clutch transmission, you almost forget that you're driving. I can barely hear the engine coming out of the exhaust in eco mode right now, and I don't feel the car shifting because that dual clutch transmission is just so seamless. In sport mode, it's an entirely different animal. The steering gets more toss, more ready. The exhaust changes pitch. The car suddenly just feels alive somehow. And when coupled with, again, that dual clutch transmission, you have fantastic control of the gearing from the paddles on the back of the steering wheel, and the feeling from those bucket seats as you hurtle around corners is just fantastic. You are planted. Despite being geared up and set up as a sports car, this car is also very comfortable. The heated steering wheel. The entire steering wheel is heated, not just small sections of it. The heated seats have 3 different selections for how warm you want it. The climate control, the air conditioning is fantastically quick. The bucket seats, while they do hold you in place, it's not squeezing you. It's just more like a little pressure just to remind you that you are secure. The Elantra N also comes with Hyundai's blind spot detection system. In each of the wing mirrors is a little icon that lights up when there's a car in your blind spot. So even if you don't see it, it knows that there's a car there and will warn you. Now, the piece de resistance. This is some really trick stuff. That grin shift. What grin shift does is when you press it, the car goes into sport mode, and a 30-second timer appears on the gauge cluster along with a grin shift activated icon. And what grin shift does is it will overboost the engine, not to an unsafe level, but you basically get just a bit more horsepower, a bit more torque, and a lot more, well, grins. It is a very fun way to enjoy everything that this 1.6 liter has to offer, and you will not struggle to pass anyone on the highway with that. Overall, I can say that the Hyundai Elantra N is a fantastic option for anyone looking for a practical yet fun, sensible but stylish, sporty but safe daily driver. It gets great gas mileage, it's really fun to drive, especially in sport mode, has plenty of bells and whistles, every feature you could ask for. The touchscreen is very high quality, super responsive. There's almost no lag between when you swipe and when it actually moves, unlike some other cars that I've driven. Plenty of safety features. Overall, this is a fantastic option for anybody looking for their next car. Overall, I hope you all enjoyed my walkthrough of the 2022 Hyundai Elantra N. Feel free to come by and check it out yourself, and I'll see you next time.